at that rate. We need to reduce that demand down to about 1,550. That's issue number one, because what happens is that whenever, say for instance, there is a technical issue in the system, you'll find that the system takes very long time to recover.
We shift our focus to this now. 7 people have died in a horrific crash on the N2 highway near the Bisho Bulembu airport outside Qonce in the Eastern Cape. Preliminary reports suggest that a bakkie carrying 6 occupants collided with a car before crashing into another bakkie. 5 occupants from the first bakkie as well as 2 others from the second were confirmed dead on the scene. Eastern Cape Transport and Safety spokesperson Unati Bingose.
We are calling on road users, motorists in particular, to be extra cautious, extra vigilant on our roads at all times, because one death on our roads is one too many, and we are calling on them to take responsibility when they are on the roads to avert any further tragedies.
Forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan has denied claims that he and former Independent Police Investigative Directorate head Robert McBride targeted former Acting Commissioner Khomotso Phahlane. O'Sullivan says it's a false narrative that he and McBride were part of a plot to get rid of Phahlane in order to pave a way for McBride to become the National Commissioner. O'Sullivan has been responding to questions during day 2 of his appearance before Parliament's ad hoc committee probing allegations of police corruption.
Because the allegation is that you targeted General Phahlane deliberately, you and Mr. McBride. The purpose being that McBride and you presumably wanted McBride to become the National Commissioner of Police.
And in Spain, Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has promised Parliament that justice will be served following 2 train accidents that claimed 47 lives last month. Shock hit the rail sector in that country after a collision between 2 high-speed trains in the southern region of Andalusia on January 18. The crash resulted in the deaths of 46 people, making it one of Europe's deadliest such disasters this century. 2 days later, a commuter train ploughed into the rubble of a collapsed wall, killing the driver and injuring dozens others. Government has now reached a deal with railway unions to invest 1.8 billion euros to strengthen public rail safety. Gold is trading at $5,052.97 an ounce. The rand is at 15.87 to the dollar, 21.73 to the pound, 18.91 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $68.80 a barrel.
Traffic remains sluggish in the Sandton area heading towards Midrand M1 northbound between Greyston and Marlborough Drive. Look out for those faulty traffic lights in Bryanston at Winnie Mandela Drive and Bryanston Drive.
It's a partly cloudy afternoon in Gauteng today. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 29 and 31 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, the DA has threatened to take legal action against the city of Johannesburg as well as Joburg Water over ongoing water challenges.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Your brain's a well-oiled machine. Now put it to work in the brain of 702. Enter on primemediaplus.com. T's and C's apply.
You're with Relebogile Mabotja.
Live, streaming countrywide
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
Six minutes after 1 o'clock. Welcome to 702 Afternoons with me, Relebogile Mabotja. And it is a Wednesday, the 11th of February. We're going to have some interesting conversations today, and I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you. So I want to kick off by asking a simple question. Who taught you how to be a woman? Who taught you how to be a man? That is it. And if you say, no, I was not taught by anybody, I just became a woman or became a man, share with us, because somebody shared the most interesting opinion to say, why do we always hear men saying, I didn't have a father, or I didn't have Zbani, no one was there to teach me how to be a man. But women never say, I didn't have a mother, no one taught me how to be a woman. And maybe you are a woman who feels that way, but I want to hear your thoughts, because I thought that was such an interesting observation, and I wonder if it is true. So for you 702 landers, did you learn how to be a woman or a man, or is it something you just discovered, or it was innate in you? Our finance feature, we're going to talk about a terminal diagnosis when it forces urgent financial decisions. This is such an important conversation, because these are things that happen when you least plan for them to happen. So we'll be joined by Akona Modi, who's a certified financial planner at BDO Wealth. Then we wrap up the show with a master class. We'll be chatting all about the Mahindra Fusion Fest 2026. But the masterclass is on fashion, creativity, and culture. And I'm so looking forward to this conversation with the legendary South African designer and Mahindra Fusion Fest 2026 fashion organizer, Tula Cindy. If you're like, who's that? If you go to Sandton, look for the Africa Rice store. Tula Cindy, that's his baby. Phenomenal designer and individual, and I'm looking forward to that conversation. So get in touch with us, 011 883 0702. SMS us 31702. Tweet at Relebogile M at Radio 702 using the hashtag 702 afternoons, and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
702 Afternoons
With Relebogile Mabotja.
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Do you feel like you were taught to be a man or taught to be a woman? And what was it that determined that thing? So an observation was made by someone who basically said that manhood, the reason why they believe that men need to be taught how to be a man through the different rituals, through the different, you can think about culture, you can think about traditions, you can think about all of the things that society has said makes you a man. And the person has observed to say, the reason why men are the ones who say, well, I didn't have a dad, or I didn't have a this, therefore I was not taught how to be a man, is because manhood generally is performative, whereas womanhood is not performative. It's something that's innately in you. Unless, of course, and this is now coming from me, unless, of course, you don't see manhood as what society says manhood is, which is greatly linked to the gender roles and stereotypes, right? So I'll give a very simple example. Little boys, when they start to grow up, will get told, you're a big boy or you're becoming a man, don't cry. Ne? So early on, somebody tells them that boys don't cry. It's what is known. And I'm using that as an example. Now, I don't have the experience of being a man. I can try and understand that, some of the things that little boys that then become men are put through are intense. You can have a home where the boy in the house, when his father dies, right? He can be 8 years old, has his 2 sisters and his mom. And everybody will be telling that child, you're the man of the house now. You are the man of the house now. So who taught you how to be a woman? And maybe you can share, what does being a woman mean to you? And who taught you how to be a man, if it is something you think you were taught? And what does being a man mean to you? What does it look like? How do you describe it? Because it dawned on me that I've never, ever met or heard of a woman saying, I didn't have a mother, so nobody taught me how to be a woman. Does not mean it doesn't happen. I'm sharing from my own personal experience. I remember when I was in primary school, I had a friend whose mother died, I think, shortly after she was born. So they were raised by a single father, her and her older brother. And because I was exposed to that early on, there was nothing odd about that situation. And I had never heard her say ever, like, because I don't have a mom, I don't know how to be a woman. And if you're thinking, well, what about when she was coming of age? I remember that when she was having her menstrual cycle start, it was her father who was the one running everything. He did not rely on aunts and the other woman in his life, because he was like, I am the primary parent in this household. I'm going to do everything. But I have heard men say, well, I don't know what it means to be a man, or I don't know how to be a man because I didn't have a father, or I didn't have whatever the case may be. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying be a good man or be a great man and positive male role models. I'm just saying being a man. What is that? And if we're all going to say that, yeah, manhood can be performative, because manhood means not crying. Manhood means, you must, if somebody steps on your toe, you need to show them that, now we can step outside. All of the things that society says that manhood is. Manhood is not a 9-step skincare routine. Manhood is not wearing nail. All of those things, we know them. Even though we all know of men that are extremely masculine, which I don't necessarily think manhood means being masculine, that do those things, wear nail polish, do 9-step skincare routine, and. So I want to hear from you. If you say, I didn't have a man around to show me how to be a man or what it is to be a man, because we also have many young boys that are raised by women only. But I can't imagine that a little boy will grow up and say, well, I don't know how to be a man. What does how to be a man even mean? And ladies, what does being a woman mean? And is it possible to define these two genders without assigning gender roles to them? Being a woman means you must be nurturing. Being a woman means, because people are struggling in this new age with people who say, I don't want to be a mother. Now it is equated to, how will you ever be a full woman if you aren't a mother? Right? So for some, being a woman means carrying a child and giving birth. But I want to hear from all of you. 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
I just think everybody always looks at what degree do you have or what have you studied. I mean, back in the day, I know accountants that didn't even study accounting. It was better accountants than accountants that studied accounting. So I think it's what you want to do and what you want to achieve.
It must have been nice back in the day, hey? You can be an accountant, but you didn't study accounting. You can hold an executive position at a national key point without security clearance or a qualification. That's so interesting. How many of you complained about Jacob Zuma? How dare we have a president who only has standard 2? But oh no, there's Paula Sullivan now, and let's not care about qualifications. It doesn't matter anymore. What's Zagalan?
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Municipal services are vital to keeping the city safe, clean and functional. By paying for municipal services such as your water bill, you're investing in Johannesburg's water supply. Paying for your services is not just a transaction, it is a commitment to your community's sustainability. Help pave the way for a brighter tomorrow, one payment at a time. Brought to you by Johannesburg Water, a water utility that cares.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, think again. Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable. You receive up to 745,000 rand worth of legal services per year. Our range of plans include cover for you, your spouse, children, and extended family. Plans include cover for civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Whether it's protection orders, gender-based violence, uncontested divorce, or poor service, your clientele legal lawyer will be there to assist you. Our services are convenient. Simply pick up the phone and call your lawyer or send us an email and we'll get back to you. All plans include a bail benefit of up to 5,000 Rand and we'll go to the police station and pay it for you. Plus, Clientele Legal offers you 24-hour telephonic legal advice. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
The Checkers Extravaganza is now on. Save extra on new deals every week. Like Steakhouse Classic Beef Rib Kanya Roast for $179.99 per kilo. Coca-Cola Original Taste Less Sugar Soft Drink 2 litres, 2 for 45 Rand. And Ariel Laundry Liquid Detergent 3 litres or capsules, 14, 21 or 30 per pack. Buy any 2 and save 30%. Valid until 15 February 2026. Only at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
702 afternoons.
With Relebogile Mabotja.
Lines are always open.
On 011
883
0702.
18 minutes after 1 o'clock, and I'm asking of you, who taught you how to be a man or who taught you how to be a woman? And what does that even mean? And are you able to describe what that is without ascending, without attaching gender roles to the a definition? Or are you a person who's like, Lebogile, it was innate in me. I just knew how to be a woman. That maybe you grew up in a home where there were no women and it was men around and you just knew. It just came to you. It was a part of the design. 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. Some of your messages. Unkululeko says, I'm making stuff up as I go along. I have no idea how to be a man. You know, the moment I read that, it made me think about just being an adult, because I also feel like we're making stuff up as we go along. I don't know how to be an adult. There are days where I'm like, I'm still a child. Guys, protect me from SARS. And the bulls. Okay, Refilwe says, I think it is taught for both. So as in, men are taught to be men and women are taught to be women. Good afternoon, 702 and team. I think most of us are not taught. We just imitate, and some learn from being shouted. How can you wake up this late? How can you wake up this late being a girl? Then you know as a girl, you shouldn't be doing that. Then comes marriage. Walai, as in they liar you, they send you off with advices. I always struggle to translate what that means. That by itself is not teaching, but encouraging women to be inferior and regard slavery as respect. You cannot ask your husband where he's from. You can't ask him about a payslip. Even our wedding songs in J. Maybe that is when they think they are teaching us how to be a woman. Yo? That is so deep, but I just thought about something based off what you said. There are many things that come with a group of women telling a girl what she's supposed to do. The fact that there's still like virginity testing, that Emma Gogo is a specialist that knows what to look for, right? And maybe for the gents, you're taught how to be a man at initiation school or Koko Ming, I'm not sure. 011 883 0702, the WhatsApp line 072 702 and 702. Brian in Santon, hi.
Hi, Relebogile, how are you?
Good, thanks, and you?
I'm good. So, I want to say being a man is not a noun, but rather a verb. So, you wouldn't learn at an event or events what is presumed by many people. Being a man, you learn by seeing. You see how your father, you see the male figures, how they handle themselves in hard times, in happier times. That's where you learn being a man. And there is no replacement for that. No school, nothing can teach, not event, at the Ndaba or anything that can teach you being a man. It has to be in the community, which starts from home. So that's why we have to fix our homes, our houses, so that we can raise men. That's why we've got so many broken men. We have lost trail of how to raise men, because it's not going to be a word, or it's not going to be a topic, it's not going to be a book. Your everyday life should be a lesson to the boys on how to become a man. That's what I want to say.
So can I ask a question, Brian, because you're saying you learn it at home.
Yes.
Are you saying that a boy can only learn how to be a man from other men, or can they also learn how to be a man from the woman around him and raising him?
Women can play a role, but it's not complete without a man. Because a man, if it's even your uncle, the way he relates to your mother, his sister, you become that man to the female figures in your life. The love, the yin yang, the balance, the femininity in being a man. You have to be soft and hard when it has to be tough. So people don't learn that click. It's only learned by doing, by seeing, by observing.
Okay, I hear you. Thank you so much, Brian in Santon, for sharing, saying you learn that from home, from observing, and then, oh my gosh, calling on my show, Batseba Mutra from Pretoria. How are you, my darling?
Hello, darling. How are you?
Oh my goodness.
A very interesting topic.
You've made my day. I know this phenomenal woman who's called in. She's a psychologist. Anybody in Pretoria who needs a psychologist? Yeah, now all right. How did you learn to be a woman?
You know what? I think I was listening to the previous listener, because he's talking about, modeling, that,
yes.
The people we live with, model, and we learn from them through observation. And that is true. I was fortunate that I was surrounded by women, growing up. Yet at some point in life, I had to actually realize that I really needed to do inner work, because not everything that I was taught helped to contribute positively in my life. And I had to do the inner work. So I think it is definitely growing up amongst women or people. It could be in the community, that have influenced, one positively. But I'd like to share one thing. When I read Maya Angelou's book, her whole sequel of autobiographies, I became a liberated woman. And I think listening to your show has actually also triggered something, and I think it has perturbed something, because there is a lot of talk around, the social media regarding men and women who are raised by single parents, whether it being, they don't even know the circumstances. And I've seen how, a lot of people have been, made to feel inferior because of such postings. If you are raised by a single parent, it means you cannot be a good partner, and it is possible that you could come from a background of trauma or being raised by a single parent, but we have to look at, have you done inner work? And even the people who are raised by couples, I've seen a lot of kids who come through, they are raised by a mother and dad, but we know that it's not a healthy environment. So I would say part of it is we get all of these things from our immediate family, nuclear or extended. Even in the community, sometimes there are role models that really help us to develop better. But Maya Angelou is everything, because she has really shared, both her good and bad. And you have seen how she evolved as a person. And I think that has given me the confidence to embrace everything, in my being, good, bad, and also to challenge myself to be better. Because
Absolutely.
It's no longer, as an adult, it's not an excuse.
Yes,
how
and
you're raised. You have to do inner work.
I love what you're saying about the inner work, because even with whatever is passed down to us, we need to decide what tool is not needed in the box to move forward for the next generation. Thank you so much, Batseba, for that comment. It's actually making me think about the fact that some of the work that one has to do on themselves to figure out what it means to be a woman, and not just a woman, the woman that you want to be, or the man that you want to be. because we can look at the woman that raised us and be like, yeah, no, not here, not everything, some of the things, hey? And then you need to unlearn and then relearn. Let's go to Ronaldo in Redeport. Hi.
How's it, man?
Good, and you?
Good, thanks, man. So I grew up in a house with a single mom. My dad left me when we were very young, and I got 5 sisters and a brother. But my mom never ever said, okay, this is a man's job and this is a woman's job. And what she taught us was how to be holistic. So I learned how to cook. My sisters knew how to change light bulbs and electric plugs. And it eventually evolved into saying that you don't have to say this is how to be a man. It's basically like this is how to be a person, and this is how you meant to live your life. And that's my sort of contribution. Is there's no such thing for me is how to be a man or how to be a woman. It's about how to be a person and connect and to be able to do either role, regardless of what the role is.
Oh,
that's
I love
basically what
that.
my mom taught us.
I absolutely love that, because at the end of the day, she was teaching you the life skills and the things you would need should something happen to her. So in her absence, you should be able to be this whole, independent, well-rounded individual. And I think you've worded that so beautifully. So then it will come back to the question, if we're saying that, is there such a thing as being a man or being a woman outside of what Ronaldo just described? Hey, or are there certain things that are only for men and certain things that are only for women? Chilani, Kosoweto, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks, and you?
I'm also good, thank you. Oh, geez, I'm shaking a little bit. My first time coming on air.
But hey, welcome. We love first timers. Welcome.
I can't believe. No, actually, I'm thinking here to say that, really, it does not necessarily need a mother to be there for a child to get the best principles, especially a boy child. A mother can be there if the father is not there. If the father is not there, the child grows up under only the mother. I mean, we find out information. There are women that we find out there's always one way. A child is not grown under only the father. They can get help from other fathers outside. They learn, they see these things. But unfortunately, at some point, I thought that this is just like I thought that when, just like in a marriage, you find that in a marriage, what happens is that I thought maybe people that will have better marriages are those people that grew up under a marriage, a mother and a father type of a marriage. Then eventually, because that's what they know, that's what they've seen, that's what they grew up under. Also, then eventually they end up understanding that there's no any other way but to get married, which tells me at some point, then if that's the case, because it can't be that case, because now you find that now this collides with even parenting as well. You find someone who grew up in a very proper marriage under ubaba no mama, but in the long run they can't even do fathering. It's not in them. It's not in them. Someone can be the best husband, but not the best father, and the other way around. So that's what I'm saying.
And I appreciate, Tulani, you saying that, it doesn't matter what the structure of the home is, because you do get many amazing men who were raised by single mothers and did not even have close male role models. And they are phenomenal human beings, well-rounded gentlemen. And yes, I am glad we're entering the era where the picture of what it's supposed to be, it doesn't have to be marriage. It can be so many other things. But we do have to go to the news. Thank you so much, Tulani. We continue when we come back. It's just after 1:30, time for your latest Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Relebogile. Good afternoon. The city of Joburg has introduced nighttime water throttling after some residents harvested water draining reservoirs faster than expected. Residents in parts of the city have been in panic mode as a result of water outages. The water woes have been blamed on various factors, including infrastructure failure, high consumption, as well as maintenance issues. The NPA says it does not accept or reject allegations of political interference in TRC-related cases that are now subject of an inquiry. The inquiry kicked off today with opening statements 9 months since it was established by the president. It's been 23 years since the Truth and Reconciliation Commission wrapped up its work referring cases to the NPA for prosecution. And 7 people have died in a horrific crash on the N2 highway near the Bisho Bulembu Airport outside Qonce in the Eastern Cape. Preliminary reports suggest that a bakkie carrying 6 occupants collided with another car before crashing into another bakkie. Well, those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 2 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, at this stage in Sandton, heading towards Midrand, there's still slow-moving traffic on the M1 northbound between Greyston Drive and Marlborough Drive. Also, slow-moving traffic heading into the Bedford View area on the R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Kiluli's interchange. Otherwise, the rest of 702 land not looking too bad, and no serious accidents or major delays have been reported on our highways, particularly in Pretoria. However, look out for those faulty traffic lights in Centurion at Old Joburg Road and Brakfontein Road. Traffic lights also not working in the Pretoria CBD. This is at Francis Bard and Sisulu. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
We've spoken about water issues, water wastage. How did we get here, Dr. Adam?
It's what happens when you don't spend the right amount of money on maintenance over an extended period and where you lose money because of corruption.
Dr. Adam, I want you to stay on the line. Rose, you're a senior citizen. How long have you been without water?
We're going on for our 3rd week now, and when I say we have no water, I don't mean low pressure, I mean not a drop. You know, I'm 87 years old and I live alone. It is really quite a struggle.
Sure. Dr. Adam, do you think this Minister Pemi Majodina, is she the right one? Clouds are gathering?
No.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Whether you're a business owner in retail or in service and repairs, switch to Outsurance Business Insurance today, and you could get an out bonus of up to 10% of your paid premiums back.
It definitely pays to switch. I wish we had done it sooner.
Get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. SMS business to 47543. That's business to 47543. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
LLB graduates can fast-track their legal career with the Law Society of South Africa's PVT School for Legal Practice. LPC accredited, this 4-month practice-ready course, which is taught by practicing lawyers, can reduce your PVT contract by 12 months for admission. Study by day, after hours, or via distance at campuses nationwide. The first 2026 intake runs from January to April. Applications close 31 October 2025. Apply now at lssalead.org.za. That's lssalead.org.za.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
Spend your afternoon
with Relebogile Mabotja
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
24 minutes to 2 o'clock, and we are talking about who taught you how to be a man or who taught you how to be a woman. And what does that even mean? there's an individual who was saying, guys, you never hear a woman saying, oh, I didn't have a mom or I didn't have aunts, therefore no one taught me how to be a woman. But you will hear men say, no one was there to teach me how to be a man. And this person concludes that it's because manhood is performative. It needs to look macho. It needs to have a certain picture. 011 883 0702, the WhatsApp line 072 702 702. We've had a caller who said, nope, we were taught how to be people. That's it. Great humans with life skills. And it was irrespective of whether you're a man or a woman. And another says you must learn that at home. And other says there doesn't have to be a man there for you to learn how to be a man. We go to the line. Simpiwe in Glen Vista. Hi.
Hi, Relebogile.
Yes.
Yeah, so you had a caller earlier that actually said men actually become men through observation and all that. So I don't necessarily agree fully with what he said, but I just want to reflect on a model, because there is a learning distribution model that has been studied very well. Sometimes it's called 70-20-10. And what this means is we have three types of education. There's formal education. This includes your schooling, college, and all that. But we have also non-formal education. This is an in-between, where you have short courses, workshops, and all that. But the third one, you have actually informal education. And this is where we learn through experience, daily life interactions, observation, and practice. So what is interesting is that informal learning accounts for the largest portion of what people learn, 70%. So this is what your caller was actually referring to. But then we have acquired some different understanding in terms of what men should be like and what women should be like. And I think we now need to go through a process of unlearning some of these habits because they are linked to gender roles and all that. And I would finally say, let's look into a book by Alvin Toffler, who he wrote it in 1977 called Future Shocks. And he actually said, we as human beings, we learn what will assist us in life. But sometimes we learn habits that become toxic. So we will have to unlearn and then finally relearn as well. So I would like to leave it there. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Can you just repeat the book that you referenced?
It is called Future Shocks by Alvin Toffler. It was written in 1977.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Simpiwe in Glen Vista, for that call. Tandanani. Ke Tandanani kapa Tandani? Tandanani from Boxburg.
Yebo.
Welcome.
How are you? How are you, Relebogile?
Good, thanks, and you?
Good.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. On the subject of being a man, it reminded me of this one time I was speaking to an old man, and he was telling me that, being a man, you've got to hold on to whatever situation you come across and do not let go. In Zulu city, ubambishisa insimbi. You hold on to it. And so, and being a Zulu man too, we don't go to the mountains. And so for us, you need to be married, to stand in the assembly of other men, and speak. And not only be married, but you got to maintain a happy marriage, and then that will show you you really know your story. You are a good leader. So this old man, many years ago, according to him, he says that the reason why even Mandela during the 1994 elections, why he didn't find, he didn't win the province of KZN, because the question arose, how could you claim to be a leader and on the other hand, divorcing Winnie? And so, according to him, that is. And so, because if you are divorcing him, it means that you are, for a lack of a better word, failing. And so, how can you then claim that you will lead, an entire nation?
And you know what's interesting, Tandanani, with what you're saying, Nem? The reason I completely agree that because you can see that the most successful men in leadership positions are married men. I mean, if we had a president that was single, people would not view him as somebody serious, because they'll say having a wife, outside of the fact that it represents, okay, you were able to commit, society understands that having a wife means that you have a certain level of support where you can go out into the world and do more. But I never thought about how you are saying it, that being a man is basically being married. Then I have to ask the question, does that mean that having a woman by your side is what makes you a man?
I think so, because, life is a game of compromising. You live and you let live. And so in a marriage, you don't have your way all the time. And even if you have your way, you need to discuss it with the other person, which shows that you've got those skills of, of negotiation, and also not be led by your emotions. And so this is what marriage to me is. I was married in 2010, and so this is what I've come to learn, that it has really, taught me to consult, number one, and not have my way in a lot of issues where otherwise I would have gone, full steam ahead without consultation. So marriage in that. In that context, it really grounds you, and so it really makes you a better man. Because
I found that so interesting. And what I'm going to do, Tandanani, and thank you for calling. I just want to give everybody an opportunity. I find it so interesting that it is in the context of a marriage. So what does that mean if you don't get married? What does that mean if you don't marry a woman? What does that mean? Like, I'm so curious. I'm very curious. Clippy's Kopa in Benoni. Hi, go ahead.
Hi, Relebogile, how are you?
Good, thanks, and you?
Fine, thanks. Let me start it in this way. I need to talk on behalf of a man, because I'm a man.
Yes.
For women, I cannot touch it that much. To be a man, I think because there are some heavy duties, there are some tasks that you have to perform as a man. You have to be always being reminded that you are now a man, and then being reminded that how to handle those issues which will come to you maybe in difficulties, how to handle them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And like for an example, we were always told that men doesn't cry.
Yes.
And I still support it. Because if, like now, for an example, I have 2 girls, 1 boy. And then what will happen if one day something happen in my house, and then my boy is the one who crying more than the girls?
Well, can I just share something on that, ne? If your boy is the one crying more than the girls, what will be the issue with that?
The issue will be who's going to handle the situation if it's difficult by then.
Maybe in that moment, the girl can.
Yeah, let me say, for an example, let me give you an example of the situation that we are facing now in this moment everywhere. People just come in the house and then do whatever they want to do. And the man maybe should be the one who can run and get a help somewhere, or a help in a way that he can. And is the one who crying, closing his eyes, and then the girls who are not even physically fit like a man are trying to fight that matter. So what's gonna happen?
Please do me a favor, Clippies. I want you to do me a favor, because we're running out of time, but I genuinely want to engage with you. Please stay on the line. I'm gonna ask my producer to take your details. We have to interrogate this concept that boys shouldn't cry. We really genuinely need to interrogate it, because I have to be honest, I firmly believe if more men cried, we'd have significantly less violence in society. There'd be significantly fewer wars. I'm sorry, but holding pain and certain emotions in is like a cancer to society. So I genuinely want to interrogate this. We've got your voice notes on 072 702 1702.
That for sure. But I was born, I'm a woman, I know that for sure, but my mother taught me how not to have, she didn't realize that she was teaching me this, but to have a man in control of the money and everything, it just left her a little bit helpless. And so I never wanted to be that. And I have had 2 kids and a man for a long time, and I'm single now, and it's fine. It's just fine. I will not allow a man to control my life, but I'm a woman through and through, and I'm happy to be single. Sarah from Hartbeespoort.
Hey, Relebogile team. I hope you're good. It's Nasipo here, Centurion. Definitely my late grandmother. That lady taught me how to be a woman. Everything I learned of who I am today, it's definitely credit to her. Great show, guys. Thanks.
So, you know how men are taught to lift heavy things and women are taught about heavy emotions and how to bear them. When you have your own children, you realize that actually life needs both, and that no matter what you try and teach your children, they will learn what they need to learn from what you do and not what you say. Geez, it gets harder.
Hi, 702 and 702 family. According to me, I think being a man is being able to provide for yourself, and also if you have a family, is to be able to provide for your family. When a man can no longer provide, or when a man cannot provide, it is the same as his manhood being taken away. So I believe that being a man, number one, is to be able to provide, and number two is also being able to withstand heated conditions. If there is no employment, then you're able to tackle anything that comes.
Hi, Relebogile. For me, being a woman is, if you have kids, is to be a really good mom and be involved as much as you can. If you choose not to have children, I do think being able to financially be able to stand on your own feet and make decisions and not rely on a partner to assist you to do that.
Hi, Relebogile. Interesting topic. Tsepo here from Pretoria. I was raised by my mother, so according to me, she didn't teach me how to be a man, but she taught me how to be human. I kind of live like her, if I could say. But it's not teaching you how to be a man, but how to be human, basically. How to have morals, and the rest you do yourself.
All right, we're going to keep as many of your messages as possible. I am so determined to have a conversation about the impact of boys not crying. And I'm fascinated that it is 2026 and there's still, there's a voice note here that says it's the army that makes men out of boys. So is aggression being a man? And not to say as women, we don't have certain issues that we need to address, that we have attached to our womanhood that no longer need to be there. Because wow. So thank you for your messages and your calls. We are going to continue this conversation. We're going to keep your messages and your voice notes and address. But I stand by my statement. If more men cried, we would see significantly less aggression, violence, crime, war in our society.
In the last 24 hours, this is what's happened in your world.
Several residents have taken to the streets in protest over ongoing water outages, with some residents describing the situation as day zero-like conditions. Communities say prolonged disruptions have severely affected daily life.
Accountability. In a city like this, no.
cannot explain how much it is anxious making. You can't flush the toilet, you can't wash your dishes, you can't wash your hands. It is so stressful.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Joburg Ballet presents Giselle, the sublime of all romantic ballets, at the Joburg Theatre from Thursday the 12th of February to Sunday the 15th of February. Giselle is a hot, trending story of love, so powerful that it reaches from beyond the grave. It lays bare a tale of passion, betrayal, and forgiveness, with one of the greatest of all ballerina roles at its core. There will be 2 Valentine's Day performances at the Joburg Theatre on Saturday, the 14th of February at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. So all of you guys that have not made plans, this is it. It's the ideal opportunity to celebrate this romantic ballet with your Valentine. And later this month, Giselle will be at the South African State Theatre in Pretoria from Friday, the 20th of February till Sunday, the 22nd of February. You can book tickets at tickets for Giselle at webtickets.co.za.
Different sounds, different worlds.
Different artistic expressions, music, art, and fashion collide. Are you coming? Let's go to the place where the beat drops, the fashion pops, and the art rocks.
We're talking Focalistic, Dali Wonga, Mafigi Zolo, Kurt Darren, Matera Doughboy, Zoe Mujija, Claire Johnston from Mango Groove, the Tswani Gospel Choir, and more. Mahindra Fusion Fest, Saturday 7th March, Sunbet Arena. Tickets on Ticketmaster now. See you there.
The pain of losing a loved one is never easy. It will leave you feeling overwhelmed. At Clientele, we understand that burying loved ones with dignity truly matters. Our funeral plans pay out cash within just 24 hours, and you receive 200 Rand airtime when you claim to make those important calls. Plus, we cover up to 13 people on one plan. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
Harith General Partners confirming they're buying Fly Safair. Kirby Gordon is the Chief Marketing Officer at Fly Safair.
If one will recall back as far as 2019, there was a proposed deal that didn't go ahead between Fly Safair and Airlink, which was already an indication of the intention of the shareholders to exit the asset that they had created. Obviously, as seed investors, they'd used a certain amount of money to develop the airline, had created an asset of value, and I guess to their benefit, that increased in value quite considerably through COVID.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by ABSA CIB, returning as proud investment theme sponsor of the African Mining Indaba 2026. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. 702 Afternoons
with Relebogile Mabotja.
It is 6 minutes to 2 o'clock in our finance feature for today. We're talking about a terminal diagnosis and it forcing urgent financial decisions. We're joined by Akona Modi, who's a certified financial planner at BDO Wealth. 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. Akona, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good day. Thanks for having me.
Akona, let's jump straight into it. If you were to estimate, would you say there are enough South Africans that have measures in place for a terminal diagnosis?
Thanks for the question. In my experience, almost more than 60% of South Africans don't have plans in place in terms of making provision for terminal illness or what we call severe illness.
And when we say measures in place, can you share what that looks like?
So that would typically look like taking out a severe illness cover that would be sufficient to provide cash to you during your period of being ill. And the period of being ill could be prolonged, for example. It could be 6 months to 12 months, for example, even longer. And the question is, how do you then provide for your lifestyle during that period? Right? So you take out a life policy or a severe illness cover to make sure that there's sufficient liquidity in place to maintain your current lifestyle.
So maybe help us understand why is the concept of, well, government hospitals are free insufficient? What does the product actually do for you?
So the product, in the event, for example, if you have stroke or diagnosed with cancer or any other qualifying illness, you would put in a claim, right, for that particular illness, and would provide a lump sum amount so that you cover, for example, you might have a medical aid in place for those who are fortunate enough.
Yes.
But often there are medical rates that the medical aid pays at versus the hospital rate, right? Often there might be a shortfall, and you use those proceeds from your severe illness cover to cover the gap, because medical expenses can be quite expensive.
I think,
especially,
yes, I think also what's quite important, and maybe you can share with us, do these products also assist with, servicing bills? Let's say you're a single parent, now you're ill and unable to work, and maybe you are running your own business, so it's not even like you're taking sick leave and still getting a salary.
Great question, especially for business owners who are not necessarily employed, for example, because employed people would ordinarily have what we call group benefits, and that would include life cover, severe illness cover, and capital disability cover. But if you're running a business, often that's the oversight that you have. You might have a life policy in place, but you don't have a severe illness. Then the question is, then how do you then fund your lifestyle? How do you pay your mortgage bond? How do you pay your vehicle finance?
Okay, and those
Right?
are very good questions. So how does a person assess what kind of cover they need? Because obviously there's the affordability element, but when you consult with a client, how do you assess to say, okay, for a person like you should have 500,000 Rand cover or whatever the case may be for severe illness, which would be your cancers and those type of categories?
So what we in practice would do is to do what we call a financial needs analysis, right? So that takes into account, for example, your obligation that you have on a monthly basis, vehicle finance, loan accounts, credit cards, right? And the monthly installment that you would pay towards that. Then we do a calculation to say, if you were to be disabled or fall ill today, how much would you need to be able to service those obligations? So it's sort of there's a sort of formula to determine the quantum needed for a severe illness cover. And that is informed as well by your lifestyle, living expenses that you would sort of be paying towards.
Why is this severe illness cover different from something like income protector?
So income protector would come in, for example, when you are disabled, and would cover a portion of your salary. Let's say, for example, you're earning 100,000 and you fall or you become disabled. Then the income protector would pay in at least or at most 75% of the 100,000 until such time at retirement or until such time you recover from your disability, right? That's the income protector. Severe illness, on the other side, cover for cancer, stroke, those type of illnesses that really prevent you to function your occupation or run your business.
Akona, yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much just for chatting to us. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but yes, those insurances are there for those reasons. Severe illness, it can come out of nowhere, especially if it is a terminal diagnosis. How is that going to impact those urgent financial decisions? Make sure you are covered. In the next hour of the show, we have a masterclass brought to you by Mahindra Fusion Fest 2026. We're going to be talking fashion, creativity, and culture with the phenomenal South African designer Tula Cindy. It's 2:00.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. The city of Joburg has introduced nighttime water throttling after some residents harvested water, draining reservoirs faster than expected. Residents in parts of the city have been in panic mode as a result of water outages. The water woes have been blamed on various factors, including infrastructure failure, high consumption, as well as maintenance issues. The city says Rand Water continues pumping while carefully balancing supply between Johannesburg, Tshwane Sekhukhune and Ekurhuleni. Joburg Mayor Dada Morero says water supply is improving, but challenges still remain. He says despite protest action on the streets this morning, progress is being made.
What they also had to do was to balance Johannesburg and Ekurhuleni and Tshwane. So that forced the pumping to be done at a particular technique so that you can allow everybody to have water. You know that that reservoir affected Tshwane, Ekurhuleni and Johannesburg.
At the same time, the DA has threatened to take legal action against the city of Johannesburg as well as Joburg Water as taps continue to run dry in parts of the city. The party's Joburg mayoral candidate Helen Zille says they have been consulting with their legal teams on this matter since last year. Zille was part of a DA Gauteng delegation which briefed the media this morning. The party says failure to maintain essential infrastructure has led to the current crisis. Zille says money is being diverted away from the most critical areas of service delivery.
The DA in Johannesburg is going to take Joburg Water and the city of Johannesburg to court. We've been consulting with our lawyers since last year. They've been reading every document that we can provide for them on the water crisis, and they have looked at the water plan, the water recovery plan that was adopted by the Johannesburg Council 2 years ago, and they say we have a clear case to go to the court.
The NPA says it does not accept or reject allegations of political interference in TRC-related cases that are now subject of an inquiry. The inquiry kicked off today with opening statements 9 months since it was established by President Cyril Ramaphosa. It's been 23 years since the Truth and Reconciliation Commission wrapped up its work, referring cases to the NPA for prosecution. However, almost none of those cases have made it to a courtroom. Khomotso Modise has more.
At the heart of the allegations being investigated by the TRC cases inquiry is whether there was political interference in the NPA that impeded or delayed the prosecution of TRC-related crimes. But today, lawyers representing the NPA said they could not make a pronouncement on this. Advocate Yonela Nkobo gave the address.
The current leadership has no direct knowledge of any political interference, pressure or collusion in relation to the TRC cases during its tenure.
Ndoko says apart from the NPA, previous national directors of public prosecution are expected to testify on the allegations of interference. Former prosecution's boss, Vusi Pikoli, had previously claimed that their efforts to pursue apartheid TRC cases were hindered by senior officials in former President Thabo Mbeki's administration. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News in Newtown.
7 people have died in a horrific crash on the N2 highway near Bisho Bulembu Airport outside Gonze in the Eastern Cape. Preliminary reports suggest that a bakkie carrying 6 occupants collided with a car before crashing into another bakkie. The 7 people were confirmed dead on the scene. Eastern Cape Transport and Safety spokesperson Unati Bingose.
We are calling on road users, motorists in particular, to be extra cautious, extra vigilant on our roads at all times, because one death on our roads is one too many. And we are calling on them to take responsibility when they are on the roads to avert any further tragedies.
And in the US, as Nancy Guthrie's disappearance enters its 10th day today, the person who was detained for questioning in connection with the disappearance of the 84-year-old has now been released. Police completed a search of the suspect's property earlier today. Guthrie, mother of US television host Savannah Guthrie, was reported missing last week. Video footage shows an armed individual appearing to have tampered with the camera at Guthrie's front door the morning of her disappearance. The FBI says it's sending more agents from field offices across the country to Arizona to help with this case. Gold is trading at $5,052.98 an ounce. The rand is at 15.83 to the dollar, 21.74 to the pound, 18.91 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $68.98 a barrel.
Leaving Sandton heading towards Midrand, traffic remains sluggish on the M1 northbound between Greyston and Marlborough Drive. Otherwise, the rest of 702 Land not looking too bad. No serious accidents have been reported on our highways. Just look out for those faulty traffic lights in the Poles off area at Witkoppen and Main.
It's a partly cloudy afternoon in Gauteng today. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 29 and 31 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: the city of Joburg has introduced nighttime water throttling after some residents harvested water, draining reservoirs faster than expected.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with Relebogile Mabotja
Live, streaming countrywide
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Seven minutes after 2 o'clock, the second and final hour of 7:02 afternoons with me, Relebogile Mabotja. We're going to be getting into a master class brought to you by Mahindra Fusion Fest, and I'm so looking forward to this conversation as we are chatting fashion, creativity and culture with South African fashion designer and Mahindra Fusion Fest 2026 fashion organizer Tula Cindy. Get in touch with us, 011-883-0702, SMS us 31702, tweet at Relebogile M, at Radio 702, using the hashtag 702 afternoons, and the WhatsApp line 072-702-1702.
702.
Masterclass.
Masterclass time as we chat fashion, creativity and culture, and I am so excited for this conversation. The Mahindra Fusion Fest 2026 fuses art, fashion and music for one unforgettable day. And today, on this masterclass, we explore the fashion aspect of the festival by talking to renowned South African designer and Mahindra Fusion Fest 2026 fashion organizer Tula Cindy right here on 702. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I can't believe it took Mahindra bringing you to my studio. When I asked my team, he just blue ticks us. Now Mahindra's brought him. How? Tula, we love you.
You know what? I am a shy individual.
I know. I have to make a confession though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the team has told you, if anyone told you. There was a day that, because you're very active on TikTok now, and you were talking about that whole conversation around the boy child being left behind. And of all the clips that I saw, I thought, there's something compelling you said. And we played it on air as part of our conversation. And the part that was compelling is the fact that you said, how is it that the women around you are not seen as individuals that you can look up to? Absolutely. How is it that, is their contribution to your upbringing not enough for you to feel? And I thought, I never thought of it like that. And it is such a compelling conversation. It's just by coincidence that earlier on, now we're talking about who teaches you how to be a man and who teaches you how to be a woman. So we've had you on the show.
Well, virtually.
We had you on the show. But let's quickly chat about fashion, and just your career has had just such a beautiful evolution, in the sense that, fashion design at one point is like, here's my collection, we're showing, and then you doing custom pieces. But you then started to curate and take a certain sense of pride in the amazing work that's happening, putting it under one roof. Just talk to us about what brought you to that point of evolving in this industry.
Whoa, that's a very powerful question.
It's how we roll. Thank
you. This year is my 20th year in business. And
20!
I started my business in 2006. 2006. I've only had a job for a year, and then I went on my own. So this is the 20th year. I started very young. I've had a very linear journey. And for me, it was always very clear. I've got clarity, and I wish clarity for a lot of creatives. When you know what you want to do, how you want to bring it forth. And I actually learned a lot from my grandmother. It's so funny that you'd speak about learning from the women around you. My paternal grandmother was a businesswoman. And she wasn't conventionally educated, but she was entrepreneurial. And she'd take me with her to go and do shopping because she'd sell vegetables.
Yes.
And we'd go to that big market. And I thought she disliked me. Why leave all of my cousins to have fun? Then I must go with you.
Cabbage.
You know? But, it taught me so much about business. And it taught me about how to also evolve. Because she would always keep changing her business. From when we were young to we were much older, she'd buy new products, she'd experiment. And for me, my journey has always been about what's next. Where am I needed? And I'm needed now in bringing access to market to the rest of the African continent, the rest of the creatives behind me.
I'm so glad you worded it like that, because I really find, especially being in the creative space, and I'm sure you felt it, where you feel like I've reached my ceiling. Like there's only, in certain respects. So for example, there's only so many fashion weeks that you're going to be like, I'm so glad I made it here, right?
True.
And then, and maybe I'm projecting because this is where I'm in my life, where you're like, but what's next? What's the bigger impact? What's the bigger purpose? What are we doing for legacy? So what is the driver for you?
Get out of my head. It's and worse for us.
Me, I think it was turning 40 that's really like, okay, what's next?
I wouldn't know about that. I'm 30. No, but for me, because fashion is a trade and it's a business as well. So I had reached my pinnacle when it comes to business. I've had my own stores. I've traveled. I've shown around the world. But you see that there's no other designers behind you doing anything similar to the same scale. It's nice to be at the top, but then you're like, why am I alone? It's nice to dance with people.
Yes.
And South Africans especially are super talented when it comes to fashion. And that's why we're always getting awarded LVMH prizes and this and this.
Yes.
There's something very unique about South Africans. We're very pragmatic about the clothes we create because we actually have to make money out of it. So it's creative, but immediately it's got commercial appeal.
Yes.
So I wanted to just test, Tori, what I've managed to do for myself, can I do it for others? Or was this a fluke?
Yeah. Oh,
so I
the imposter syndrome thing.
No, well, I don't have that. In fact, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine today. Why do people have that? I don't know. I've got a very clear understanding of my capabilities, and I also understand my environment. And as a Black South African, you need to understand your environment, that there are things that are put ahead of you. There are blockades that are historic. But you must also understand where you fit in. I have got no time to feel like an imposter.
No, but the mere fact that you said, was it a fluke, means that even if there was a 1% doubt that maybe I just happened to be lucky. Or maybe I just, so you want to be sure that it was all me.
Yes, and systematic as well. Because, a lot of people say to me, oh, well, everyone likes you. Everyone likes you. And it almost makes you feel like the industry was a bit easier on you. So I'm like, no. I can take even designers that you think are unlikable and make them sell. The product needs to be just in the eyes of the right people. We need to be in the right shopping centers. We've been kept out of the market. South African creatives, especially in fashion, have been kept out of the market. And no one really wants to really give us access to market in the true sense. They'll say, Lokshini economy, how can you sell a 12,000 rand dress at Lokshini? It's ridiculous.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
It's
ridiculous. Yes, there's other things that need to happen in Lokshin, but the fact that it's still being called Lokshin 30 years later is a problem.
Yes.
Those should be residential areas without the stigma, but they've remained that. So we can't be selling 12,000 rand dresses there. We need to be having access to true market and making real money. So that's where I came in. I was like, I want to create Africa Rise, and I want to work with brands like Mahindra to how can we fuse all of this creativity that we've got in this country? Because in music,
listen,
in art, in
one.
fashion, I know.
And I love how you're saying that, because I'm just thinking about the fact, the biggest thing that you're saying is access to market. Yes. Now, it is not a unknown fact that all South Africans will be like, well, these pieces are expensive and blah, blah, blah. And we know that we could name 10 designers out of the millions of South Africans and probably hundreds of thousands of designers that have the potential, that have gone abroad, be it a Gert, a David, whoever else. But can you share with us what you think the core issue is? Because on the one hand, there's the part of the conversation where I see certain same arguments. Why is it 12,000 rand? Da 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 da. It's so expensive. I can buy the same thing guy for X amount. And a part of it, I think maybe we don't value ourselves a certain way, that maybe we perceive our work, what we produce. Also, there's a part of it where I feel like the arts are just not taken seriously in this country. Like, I'm sorry, but it isn't. And because you it's like even with the work I'm doing, because you make it look easy, then people think, why should I pay you so much when you're enjoying yourself? you should come here for homonate, man. You know what I mean? And then there's the other part where I feel like money. Like invest and pour, but because we have so many problems, everything becomes a priority. And it will be like, so we're not worried about high fashion when there's no health care. Sorry, Midrand people, we are sending you hugs. But maybe pinpoint, what are we not seeing, those of us that don't live in that industry day to day, and those of us that are not now in your perspective saying, okay, cool, I'm here, I want to bring others with me. What are we missing?
Okay, I will start with the positives first, because I think we sometimes get bogged down by the negatives. South Africa has got a lot of positives. You've got great fashion institutions. There is nothing like this in this entire continent where you can go to school. I mean, even our fly-by-night fashion colleges are actually good.
I love that.
Did you fly-by-night fashion colleges are good. We get all the interns, we see them. So we've got institutions, which is great. It cuts off 5 years of making mistakes. You can start your business immediately after you graduate and you can make a decent product. So that's a big positive. And when it comes to what people are willing to pay or not pay, another positive is that I started this business in 2006. I had predecessors before that, Boston Cherry, Bosan Goddess.
Yes.
In a matter of 30 years, South Africa has gone from being only buying foreign goods to being proudly South African, and the African Renaissance that happened in the 2000s, to what we have today, where people just buy our stuff like it's normal, which is exactly what we want. Most countries take 50 to 100 years to get to that kind of home pride, that domestic pride. So we've managed to do that in a blink of an eye. So those are the positives. So one can't say people are not buying, but somehow I've been around for 20 years. People are buying, but people they value different things differently. And that's why we need access to market. We need to be where people are willing to pay X amount for that type of product. You can't try to convert people that are busy with very difficult needs, like, just taking their kids to school or access to daily food, and then you want them to buy a dress for 10,000 rand. That's not fair. And then you're saying to them, why don't you value? They've got different priorities.
Yes. Because they see that dress as rent. And there are people who don't see that dress as rent because they're at a different place. Yeah.
That's why, especially as Black entrepreneurs, we need to have access to the full market that is South Africa. So we need to be in the Santons, in the V&As, in all of those places. They cannot operate a shopping center and there's not even 1% of Black entrepreneurs in a Black country. That is problematic, and that has been allowed to continue. That economic exclusion of creatives, even from the economic structures, that is the problem. The consumers in South Africa are far much further than they actually should be. It's a miracle. But people buy local, even streetwear brands. I don't know if I'm allowed to even mention them. But
yes, you can.
Like Galaxy Boy.
Yes.
Kids, students
yes.
save up their lunch money to buy a Galaxy Boy tea. So we are far and beyond where other newly born countries are. So I think we've got a good thing going. We just need access to market. The structural issues are the issue, not the consumers.
I think you've worded that so beautifully. We need to take a break. When we come back, we find out how this partnership with Mahindra came about and how everybody can get involved.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
Jolene Wasserman, to what extent do body corporates have to be subject to the Constitution?
In our Bill of Rights, you have a right to practice your cultural and religious beliefs. Can you slaughter in a body corporate?
I don't know. Can you?
Absolutely, because where do we get that from? The Bill of Rights. So we can practice our religious and cultural beliefs. You are even allowed to slaughter on the 20th floor of your apartment in the block.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
Mzansi, it is official. MasterChef South Africa has a new home on ETV. the kitchen you love, the chefs you cheer for, and all the flavor you live for are now cooking on ETV. So to prep for season 6, dropping soon on ETV, tuck into MasterChef South Africa, the celebrity edition, a light, fun, and irresistible palate cleanser. It's the same MasterChef South Africa you love, serving up excitement from the first bite to the big season ahead. Make sure you go to EVOD if you've missed the other episodes. I can already tell you here, Laduma's there, Dino Ranaka's there, and Drama is there now on ETV every Sunday at 6 p.m.
Imagine a holiday where the only thing on the to-do list is to enjoy yourself. With NCL, world-class dining, award-winning entertainment, and a variety of onboard experiences come as standard. So enjoying yourself is easy breezy. We sail to over 400 destinations worldwide, including Europe, the Caribbean, and beyond. Your dream cruise is calling. Visit ncl.com for the best deals or contact your travel agent today. Conditions apply. Norwegian Cruise Line. It's different out here.
In life's most challenging moments of loss, compassion can be your greatest comfort. You shouldn't have to face the financial burden of losing a loved one by yourself. Rest assured, Clientele's funeral plans pay out cash within 24 hours. You can cover up to 13 family members on one plan, ensuring all your loved ones are taken care of, and 3 children are covered at no additional cost. With Clientele, you're not just buying a plan, you're also buying peace of mind. When the time comes, you will need to make important calls with your 200 Rand airtime you will receive when you claim. Plans offer double accidental death cover, as well as transport, grocery, and unveiling benefits. Apply today. It's easy. There are no medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
John Perlman. Weekday afternoons,
3 to 6.
Calling on the president to intervene in the matter and to help bring them home. Obviously, we have relations with Russia, country to country, but BRICS was also mentioned. The people who actually arranged for your relative and the others to go across to Russia, what answers are they giving you? Are they engaging with you or have they disappeared?
They disappeared.
They can't be reached, they can't be contacted.
Yeah. Some other members of the family tried to reach others, but all was in vain.
Tulani Mahlangu.
John Perlman.
3 to 6 on 702.
702 Afternoon Drive with John Perlman is proudly brought to you by Telkom Business. Possible begins here.
702.
Masterclass.
24 minutes after 2 o'clock, and we continue our masterclass brought to you by the Mahindra Fusion Fest for 2026. Today, we explore the fashion aspect of the festival, and we're chatting to South African fashion designer and the festival's fashion organizer, Tula Cindy. 011 8830702 and the WhatsApp line 0727021702. When we were chatting off air, and I mean, you touched on the systematic issues. Do you think, and this is an overall arts question, not just fashion, that we are expecting too much from government and that maybe the private sector needs to come in? Or do you think government, you actually still should be doing more? Because you look at a Mahindra that is showing up, right? I believe it's a hand in hand with both, but it is difficult reading the news and you're like, how many billions? Wait, how much 100,000 did I ask for just to start?
It's a yeah. We need those triple P's, public, private.
Yes.
But the government needs to do more. You cannot ask too much of your government. Take that thought even out of your mind. More needs to be done. But when it comes to the private sector, brands like Mahindra, I started working with them last year for the inaugural Fusion Fest.
Yes.
And the concept for me was mind-blowing but also it was so timely because the creativity in South Africa is so amazing, but we tend not to fuse our amazing musicians, our amazing artists, and our amazing fashion designers into one show that's like unmissable, unforgettable, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Last year was amazing.
No, but that lineup also was fire.
It was fire. So this year, it's even more interesting. I mean, Maglera Doyboy, who is my homeboy, I'm from Klerksdorp, so is he. And I mean, like, so many other artists as well. But fusing that creativity and creating the new wave of creative and commercial power, because that is where South Africa should be strong. You look at places like Korea, where the government has invested in their creative arts, because for us as South Africans, our creative industry is outpaced by everything. We are humongous. We are setting global trends. You just wish there was a little bit more financing. I saw recently...
No, not a little bit more, please. A lot more, guys. A lot more.
Like recently, Maporisa had a Mapiano Fest and whatever, and that's amazing. I'm like, yes, the government must be funding this. I saw some people online were having gripes. I'm like, guys, this is a global export. This is a job creator. Our creative industry, what we do naturally, is wanted across the world. So when brands like Mahindra recognize that and say, on the 7th of March, we're having the second Mahindra Fusion Fest.
Yes.
Where you're going to see amazing music, amazing fashion, amazing art in one night, guys. For me, that's where we should be moving in.
Yes. I'm just thinking about this idea. I know we spoke about it about 2 weeks ago. We were speaking about the UFC fighter from Zim who is like, he's blocked his family and everything because now that I'm big, you didn't support me, nah? And then I thought about the fact that there are so many creatives and sports stars who work their behinds off and ask for funding, and then nothing happens. And then now when they are shining abroad, hey, they're ready at the airport. Did you have that experience, or do you feel like you fully got the love and the appreciation at home before you were recognized abroad?
I have been fortunate in the fact that I had a business from day one. You know, people don't understand that even when I was in college, I was making clothes for well-known people just because designers kept letting them down. So
that was your opportunity.
The word spread that there's this guy too, like he's in college, but he can sort you out in like one day. That time I lived in a commune in West Dean. There was 14 of us in a 3-bedroom in West Dean. Yeah. Yep. So that's where I kind of filled the gap. But, one can't depend solely on government funding, though it should be readily available. We all won't ever receive it. I've never. I even aged out of Bomso Bomvu. I was applying until I aged out.
You were youth.
When
you were youth.
You know what I mean? But the South African consumer has been my support system. And also structures like that are more financial, like the IDC, the NEF.
Yes.
Once you have a thriving business, there are structures there. Government has actually done a lot. Compared to other countries, we do have the structures there, which matters. Yes, they don't work 100%, they don't work for everybody, but they're there. When I see people getting funded by the Arts Council, I'm like, good for them.
Yes.
I've never been approved for anything.
Yes.
But, at least it's a positive light. Now, I want the industry to move forward because collectively, if one person moves forward, it's testing the case for you, because so many people will say it doesn't work, but then when Relebogile does it, you can also put in your application say, I want to do what Relebogile is doing.
Yes,
and
there's a tried and tested version.
Exactly.
We're going to use that formula.
You look at people like Tyler. She has opened up so much for other recording artists. Now people can get a little bit more because there's a person who's doing something that's extra successful. So for me, that's always been the template. And Okasileli teacher it's about, even though it's collective tax money, but we won't all get it. But focus on the customer. That's what I've always done. Focus on your customer. Focus on growing your business. Be reliable. Have a brand. And that's your business. You cannot live from grant to grant.
When we come back, I actually want to talk about, what you were saying about you found the opportunity of the designers disappointing. And if we think as creatives in J, we are failing ourselves in treating ourselves as businesses. We go to the news. When we come back, we continue with our masterclass. It's 2:30, time for your latest Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Relebogile. Good afternoon. A high-level government delegation is expected to engage with technicians at the Brixton Reservoir this afternoon. The officials will include Water and Sanitation's Minister, Phumi Majodina, Minister of Cooperative Governance, Velenkosini Hlabisa, Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi, as well as Joburg Mayor, Dada Morero. Their visit today comes as taps continue to run dry in parts of the city. The NPA says it does not accept or reject allegations of political interference in TRC-related cases that are now subject of an inquiry. The inquiry kicked off today with opening statements 9 months since it was established by President Cyril Ramaphosa. It's been 23 years since the Truth and Reconciliation Commission wrapped up its work, referring cases to the NPA for prosecution. And 20 people have died in Madagascar following Cyclone Gezani. The cyclone made landfall yesterday, toppling houses and causing major flooding. It comes less than 2 weeks after another tropical cyclone hit the northwestern parts of the country, killing at least 12 people and displacing 31,000 others. Well, those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 3 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, at this stage, if you're leaving Sandton heading towards Midrand, we still have slow-moving traffic. This is on the M1 northbound between Ethel Oaklands and Marlborough Drive, while in Kempton Park, there's slow-moving traffic on Pretoria Road between Plain and CR Swart. And then there's also faulty traffic lights in Midrand, Old Pretoria Road and Olifantsfontein Road. Traffic lights still not working in Illiondale at Modderfontein Road and Laurie. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
There's much to say about where South Africa is, and even more about where it's going.
On Thursday, 12 February, President Cyril Ramaphosa delivers the State of the Nation address, live from Cape Town City Hall.
702 Cape Talk and Eyewitness News will be there, analyzing every word and bringing you the news as it breaks.
From the build-up to the address to the conversations that follow.
Join Clement Maniatela and Mandy Wiener for live coverage and in-depth analysis from 6 to 10 p.m.
Live on the radio or live stream on the Prime Media Plus app. Sona 2026. Thursday, 12 February.
Live on 702 Cape Talk and EWN.
Get your brain in the game, because the brain of 702 is back with your chance to flex your general knowledge smarts. There's 3,000 Rand up for grabs every day, and Brain of the Week wins 10,000 Rand, plus a spot in the finals to compete for the grand prize, 30,000 Rand cash. Enter on primemediaplus.com now. Then catch 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa and 702 Drive with John Perlman for your chance to be the brain of 702 TCs and more on primemediaplus.com.
Progress builds, it moves, and it has a partner. That partner is Anglo American. Together, we're building progress where it matters most across South Africa, with 1.6 billion Rand unlocked for entrepreneurs through our Impact Finance Network and 25.9 billion Rand invested through our Kumba Iron Ore business into infrastructure development, healthcare, community upliftment, and more. These are just a few examples that show when collaboration is real, progress moves faster. As a proud sponsor of the Investing in African Mining Indaba, we are working with our partners to unlock mining's full potential. South Africa has a partner, Anglo American, mining potential, building beyond.
Every day I'm hustling. It's our reality as business owners. And it's good to know that there's someone out there who takes care of the business that makes the business. Gotta love My Way Business Insurance. Saving big on premiums with 24/7 emergency services, plus My Business Assist with marketing, legal, and labor advice services.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
Coming up
on 702 Drive with John Perlman.
25 minutes to 3 o'clock. 702 Drive is coming up from 3 to 6 p.m. with John Perlman. Good afternoon, John. What's coming up on your show?
Very good afternoon, Relebogile. Good afternoon to everyone else. It's water everywhere, I'm afraid. Big crisis in the city of Johannesburg, brought into the spotlight, of course, by protests taking place, not for the first time, it has to be said, in the city, but what it has prompted is senior members of government going around to meet protesters, give briefings, site inspections, and so on and so on. We're going to look at the protests. We're going to hear what the protesters are saying, what the politicians are saying in response. But after 5, again, we're going to try and get a sense of the big picture. Is this what looms for us for the rest of our lives? It's not looking good. Beer sales are dropping worldwide, and in that context, Heineken has warned they're going to lay off 7,000 workers globally. Are beer sales dropping here, though? We're going to try and find out more about that.
Can I ask a question, John? Are the beer sales going down in any way related to, I saw an article that said overall alcohol sales globally have gone down because people are not drinking as much as they used to?
I do not know the answer to that, and I think there'll be country pictures and global pictures. Are people drinking? It's a good question. I would need to look into that.
Yes.
Can't say I know enough about it to offer an answer. Paul O'Sullivan at Parliament's ad hoc committee looking into criminality in the criminal justice system, which is meant to be about dealing with criminals, not being criminals. But they're doing that investigation. Madlanga Commission is doing the same inquiry. We're going to get feedback on both of those. Oren Singh on Madlanga, Babalo Ndenze is down in Parliament. And then we can look at the mining in Durban and the sort of countries like China and the United States involved in a big, big push to get access to Africa's critical minerals. We're looking at that in a lot more detail after 4.
That is 702 Drive with John Perlman coming up from 3 to 6 p.m.
702
Masterclass.
And we continue with our masterclass brought to you by the Mahindra Fusion Fest for 2026. Make sure you check it out because it fuses art, fashion, and music for one unforgettable day. So you kind of get a 3-in-1 without having to go to 3 different places with 3 different tickets on 3 different days. And we are sitting with the phenomenal South African designer and Mahindra Fusion Fest fashion organizer Tula Cindy 011 8830702 and the WhatsApp line 0727021702. So before we went to the news, I asked the question of, cool, we've spoken about government, we've spoken about the consumer. Do you think, and I'm going to make this an overall creative conversation because our industries are so intertwined. You as a fashion designer, you dress, a musician, and it works for both of you and all of those things. But do you think we as creatives also in some way fail ourselves? You touched on how you were able to get an in that designers were letting people down. As somebody who books musicians, who books art, listen, guys, whether it's not having taxes in order, not having, not showing up, double booking, do you think we should be doing better? Or do you think let's not be too harsh because there is no place you can go to learn how to do these things?
Oh, there is a place you can go to learn.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I encourage people to go to school, but also to engage with there's so much information online. There is just so much help online. And even a lot of these government structures, the CEDAs, the CFAs, all of them, they've got free bookkeepers. There's just so much there. But you must understand that your creativity is your life. That's your career. So you need to take it seriously because no one will hold your hand through this. And it's a hard truth. But as creatives, we need to take ourselves very, very seriously. And we need to take our careers very seriously. We must understand that we are a business. You might feel like you're a one-man, a one-woman show, but you are the business. So you have to be on time. You have to keep your records straight. You have to know what you're doing. And you have to always upskill yourself. Even if you're watching YouTube videos, anything you're trying to do, somebody has done it already and they've done it well. Learn from them. And we've got access to so much information. We're in the information age, but somehow people feel disconnected from knowledge, and it's always there.
You said it so beautiful. You're making me think of one of my makeup artists, Merlene Williams, what she does. And mind you, she's been in the game for years. She will buy a new palette and she will study it. Yes. She will go online and check all the make. Now, anybody would think, but why? Or you look at a Carlo Mombelli, who is a jazz bassist. He still does scales every day.
You're never done.
Decades later.
You're never done learning.
I love that. All right, so let's talk about what's going to be different this year. And let's speak specifically about your approach to the fashion part. Like, what is your vision?
First of all, Mahindra Fusion Fest, top line, it's fashion, it's music, it's art put together. And art like graffiti and visual arts put together. This year, with the fashion component, there was 4 pillars that I must reiterate. There is the creative fusion, which means all of these artists are bringing the best of their artwork together in one place. There is also the business fusion, because these are all people that have created a business out of their creativity, and them working together will only take the industry collectively a lot further. And that also resonates with Mahindra because they've moved in strides. In the last 5 years, they've moved from what they were to being, I think they're the number 3 or number 2.
But busy, man. They're everywhere.
And because they are fully immersed in the culture, and they're fully engaging with what South African consumers want, And the third is the cultural fusion, There's people who are taking their culture and infusing it into what they do. And that is our unique selling point. That's why Tyler will keep her accent, because that spice is what makes her special.
Sorry, America.
Sorry. And then future fusion, this year, the Mahindra Fusion Fest is about also the young generation, So there's Bodali Wonga, there is the new wave of creatives and singers and musicians and fashion designers. And I chose 3 fashion designers that I think are extremely strong. Mzukisi from Imprint.
Woo! Listen, signature look, amazing, yes.
Amazing designer. Jacques from BAM Collective, a visionary.
Their clothes are so interesting.
Interesting, amazing, out of this world. And Tando from Munkus. She's little known, but those who know. And to be on the platform like the Mahindra Fusion Fest will give the eyeballs that her brand requires. So these 3 designers are going to create each their own kind of storyline that will be seen on stage. I can't say too much, but you cannot miss the show. 7th of March, Mahindra Fusion Fest at the Sunbet Arena in Pretoria. Guys.
You know what I love about what you're sharing and also your selection, and also from knowing you personally, you are so intentional when you do things. You are very, very intentional. It's not a biggie mabulane. And so everybody knows, Tula and I were at Afropunk in Brooklyn, New York together a few years ago.
That was fun.
Did we not have too much fun?
That was a lot of fun.
We had too much fun.
And that's why I always tell people that I love music and music festivals. So when I say come to Mahindra Fusion Fest, I know what I'm talking about.
He does.
He's
and he's always going out and vibing. But what I wanted to ask is, where are the different places that you pull inspiration from? Because, for example, an Afropunk in South Africa versus an Afropunk in New York is completely different in terms of the lineups, the fashion interpretation. But what do you look at to inspire you? Especially because you're not just looking for inspiration for pieces. You're looking for inspiration to say, guys, when you walk into Africa Rise, you can come in weekly because there will always be something different. You can come in because I would have found this other person. I saw Ditsala, who does amazing, phenomenal jewelry, was
from
like
Sosha Nguve.
From Sosha's My Hood blog. And you can also go and find her, for example. And she was posting to say, new jewelry go up. But where's the inspiration? Because do you not sometimes have this fear? Like my mom says, the idea had you go fail.
No, for me, this second part of my journey, because my first part when I was designing my own collections, I'm inspired by clothes themselves. I love the functionality of clothes. I love fabrics. Also, being a creative, it's all about observing. Everything that you see, it just filters through your mind. And that's what being creative in any industry is about. It's almost like you see things differently. A person can just see a glass on top of a table. But as a creative person, you're seeing a starting point to something else, whether it's a poem, whether it's a song,
or beat.
Whether it's a beat, whether it's a way to start a broadcast in the morning. It's an idea. Your brain works very differently. But in the second part of my life, where I'm a curator of Africa Rise, where there's 77 designers in the store, it's about being inspired by other creatives and seeing their potential, because there's just so much of it. And I'm so positive about South Africa. I sometimes feel like I'm by myself in this. People moan a lot about this country, but this country is so special. The people are so interesting. I mean, like, Titsala is one of the best jewelry designers in the world.
Yes.
And she's making this in Social Grove, where she should, because that's where the engine of creativity is. And that's where we should be creating from where we are, but selling in places that can afford to buy the true worth of our creativity. That's how we unlock value in this country. Sorry, now I've gotten eco-political. Yes.
I'm going to ask a question but because I know you personally, what does solitude bring for you in terms of inspiration? Because I also know...
I love being by myself.
I know! You're the type of person who doesn't need to be in a group. You are so free to travel on your own. And I think it gives you something, even though you love traveling with me, thank you. But on a serious note, because I know you enjoy your solitude, and we live in a time where so many people feel lonely. And I think it's all connected. Creativity is very spiritual. Share with us what that does for you.
Well, for me, I often struggle when people define themselves.
Please look at that smile. He's so happy.
Introverted or extroverted. I'm like both of those things at the same time. I love being alone with my thoughts because I enjoy my thoughts. I enjoy my mental space. It really gives me time to think. And I also love the person I am when I travel because it challenges me. You need to learn what the streets are called, how to get from one point to another. And I love challenging myself, and also keeping the promises you made to yourself as a kid, because I'm from Klerksdorp. I think I got on a plane the first time I was like 22.
Where were you going?
I was going to a fashion competition in Cape Town.
Oh my God.
Gavin Raja was hosting the Niederberg collections.
Yes.
And that was my first time on an airplane. It was through my job. My then job, I was a student, but through fashion. So that unlocked something in me. But also I love socializing as well. I love people. When I'm out, I love socializing. So, but loneliness for me, I feel like when people are afraid of their own thoughts, that's what really creates loneliness, and they're always trying to fill the gap by being busy with other things, distracting themselves. I think being by yourself is a privilege. If you can never get a quiet moment to sit alone, even kids to be bored, don't give them screens 24/7. Your child must be bored so they can be creative and make little mud cars, and their brain can start working. You don't always have to distract them with screens. And the same for us as adults. Because we can't even sit on the bathroom for 2 minutes without reaching for your phone because you don't even want to.
I'm pretty sure there are people who have charging ports in their toilets at this point so that they can keep the scrolling. But I think that was beautifully said. And I think because I have seen it in you, you play so well with other kids and Majaivani vibes, but you also do the solitude so beautifully. And I think, like you say, it's about us learning to enjoy our own company. We take another break. When we come back, we continue with our masterclass. Any questions that you have for Tula Cindy around fashion, around the Mahindra Fusion Fest for 2026, 011 8830 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
Sorry I'm late, Sevi. Had to fetch my lucky putter. No worries. Let's go. We're teeing off in an hour. Great. We're taking your car.
Can't. It's already taken.
What do you mean taken? It was right here when I left a few minutes ago.
I sold it to Weeba Cars and made a whole lot of green.
Birdie told me that's the best way to sell your car.
Not only the best way, it's the fair way. Kom ons vat die pad.
Don't be doof, be savvy. We buy cars geared for a fast sale, geared for you.
For over 30 years, Bid Air Cargo has been keeping South Africa's supply chain moving, giving our economy the dedicated cargo capacity it needs. Whether it's really, really urgent, oversized, or hazardous, when a shipment has to fly, we make it happen. Linking all major airports with reliable freighter services, our promise delivers. Bid Air Cargo. Every kilo counts.
Smart Steve from Momentum. Hello.
Stevie, it's Clinton Myers, the Minister of National Treasures.
Mr. Minister, how can Momentum Insure help you?
This economy is not helping with the cost of my gusheshe, my tires, man.
Just get Momentum Insure's safety returns and get up to 30% cash back, even if you claim.
Is it true?
Stru's Bob, Mr. Minister. Visit momentum.co.za or call 0860 006 784. Momentum Insure, keeping you safe on your journey to success. Momentum Insure is an authorized non-life insurer. T's and C's apply.
702
Masterclass.
11 minutes to 3 o'clock as we continue our masterclass brought to you by the Mahindra Fusion Fest 2026. And we are chatting with around the fashion aspect of the festival with South African designer and the festival's fashion designer, Tula Cindy, 011 8830 702 in the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. Please tell me now, because in as much as you're going there and it's a bit of a showcase, there is a competition.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Because
Mahindra is done again. Last year, Mahindra Fusion Fest created 3 competitions. A competition for musicians, a competition for artists, and a competition for fashion designers. Basically, they had to submit through social media, like their drawings and stuff. And we had to choose who was the winner. And the winner from last year is retailing at Africa Rise, and she's doing incredibly well. So, I mean, like, that is actual impact in someone's life. So this year, we have chosen 5 because there was just so many entries.
5 winners?
We couldn't even choose, 5 finalists.
Okay.
And because we couldn't just choose, so they're going to have their own showcase. People are going to be blown away. The Mahindra Fusion Fest this year, it's bigger, it's better, if that's even possible, but it's unique. That's why you have to come to the Mahindra Fusion Fest. 7th of March. Never to repeat it, because the artists will never collaborate again. The fashion designers will never collaborate again.
It's a one-time.
It's a one-time experience.
One night only.
Yes.
One night only. So what does the winner get?
The winner gets 30,000.
Sadi Randela.
30,000. And also lots of interesting support strategically. Like last year, yes, they got the 30,000 and they got to be in Africa Rise. But at the same time, they get a mentor for free because, I love young creators. I really, really think the future is with the youth in South Africa. And a lot of people rag on them for, Gen whatever. I don't even know this generation. Which one is it? The latest one?
Z.
Gen Z or something?
Z.
Oh, Z.
Gen Z, sorry.
South African.
Yeah, yes. You're so Z. How's Z?
But, they really have been born in a very difficult time and they're really making the most of it. And when you see them and what they can create and what their minds spring up, it's just so invigorating.
But I have to say, in as much as Gen Zs are born in a difficult time for certain reasons, I look at how people start making clothes and post it on TikTok and then suddenly they have a client base. So I also hope that the budding fashion designers keep in mind, TikTok is not just for dance challenges, for example. There are people who are coming out to say, I crocheted this hoodie, and then out of nowhere, they have 3 orders. People are doing the most interesting, creative things in all spaces. They are making bags that look like fish, like random things. And you may think, but why would anybody want to buy it? I promise you, it connects you to the whole world, not just to South Africa. And it's so easy to ship things out. So please know that, yes, enter the competitions. You attend the Mahindra Fusion Fest and all of those things. But do not wait. You literally can start your shop tomorrow.
There's a global community waiting for your creativity, and that's such a stunning point that I always try to reiterate to designers, because a lot of creatives are very reticent. They don't want to show what they do. And the world is hungry for creative ideas.
And new things.
People are sitting in their offices. They want to be excited. There's so few people actually creating things. There might be let's say 1,000 creatives.
Yes.
From them, only 100 people actually make anything.
Yes.
And from that 100, only 10 people will actually even publicize anything. So there is a shortage actually of creativity and actual products. So young people, please do your thing. Let people know what you do. Start your businesses. Just be out there. Don't be shy.
And don't be shy to put the price tag that you believe.
Bona, can I just say, very important, is that how you enter the market is how you will stay. So don't underprice yourself. Focus on making a very beautiful product in terms of quality, but don't think you can price it low and as you do better, you can raise up the price. You won't. What ends up happening, someone's like, but I bought this for 50 Rand. Why are they trying to sell it for 100 Rand? You sell it for 50 Rand, they call more people like, it's 50 Rand, wozan nonke.
Yes.
Then you stay busy, but you're busy making no money at all, and then you burn out. Rather focus your skills on making sure your product is so beautiful that it can sell for the right price. And that's why I created Africa Rise. I said, creators, wherever you are, whether you're in Tanzania, Social Nguva, make a beautiful product. We'll take you to Sandton.
And we don't even, because you're speaking about it, doesn't have to be bulk. People are selling one-off pieces.
Exactly.
And they are putting it in places like you say, Africa Rise. And of course, if you head over to Africa Rise that is in Sandton City, you get access to 77
creators from across the African continent.
I'm so proud of you.
I've always been Pan-African. I love the continent.
You really have. And I also just love the camaraderie that you have with fellow designers, because I know sometimes people think things have to be a competition where there genuinely is space. everybody talks about everybody because you hang out together and you all understand the vision that there is space. You making women's clothes doesn't mean this one mustn't make women's clothes. You have a different vision. In closing, I need to ask, how do you, and maybe you can advise the listeners, how did you find your creative voice? Because that's the other thing, right? Where there's the naysay in the head, or maybe you have an idea, but you doubt it because you think it's weird. How did you really get firm in your creative voice?
For me, it was my family. I'm from a very creative family, but they were my first customers. What's important as a creative?
You forced them to buy.
No. Observing where you are needed as a creative, that is the most important thing. And most creatives don't want to do the thinking part. They just want to make. You need to look at your environment and say, what is missing? What is needed? What can I bring that the people around me, physically around me, need? And once you start, your business will build itself. So for me, it's always that identify where you are needed, either fulfill the need or create a need. If you're very creative, you can create something that people want. They've never known that they wanted it, but now they want it. So just focus, make something, and be something that people need.
I absolutely love that. The Mahindra Fusion Fest is taking place on the 7th of March, 2026. It's at the Sunbet Arena in Pretoria. Beautiful venue. You'll be able to enjoy this multidisciplinary celebration of music, fashion, and art. And again, it's just one time only. Other things that you're going to see or experience, and go online and go and see the interesting collaborations that took place from last year, just to give you a taste. And then, of course, ticketmaster.co.za is where you can get your tickets, and you just search there. You'll be able to see Mahindra Fusion Fest for 2026. Tula, thank you for coming.
Thank you. This was so much fun. You know, I'm driving to Durban now, right?
Are you?
My Mahindra XUV is parked outside.
Yes! And thank you, Mahindra, for making Tula come to studio. Narmaiza. Now he is here. He's here.
Clientele is here to safeguard you and your family with compassion, because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours, and you will get double accident cover with a Clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. It's easy to apply. No medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Media's changing fast. The question is, are you leading it or chasing it? The Pulse Media Leadership Conference is a one-day gathering of bold thinkers shaping what's next for media, marketing and leadership. It all happens on the 26th of February from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. at the Galleria Conference venue in Sandton. Expect insights from Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus, the CEO of Montgrey Capital, Michael Jordan, and global marketing icon Seth Godin, joining us live from New York via Zoom. Tickets are on sale now at ticketpro.co.za. Prime Media Broadcasting is a proud sub-sponsor of the Pulse Media Leadership Conference for 2026.
All cars are designed to move. A Mazda is crafted to move you. Every line, every detail, form in motion, beauty with purpose. So that when you drive, you connect. Car and driver become one. One rhythm. Builds, holds, breaks free. The feeling will find you. Mazda. Wonder awaits.
702 Afternoons
with Relebogile Mabotja.
Thank you so much for joining us on 702 Afternoons. We are going to have that conversation about the impact of boys not crying. I am determined. PrimeMediaPlus.com or download the app. And guys, don't forget MasterChef South Africa is happening. EVOD. Go to ETV. It's 3 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Ministers on the ground as taps continue to run dry in Joburg and Cyclone Gizani leaves a trail of destruction in Madagascar.